NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real, jumping like hopscotch. Nobody harder than, oh no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nathan Ivey with you. And as always, a lot to talk about. Good morning, good morning. Please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. I want as many people as possible to see what we're doing here, what we got going on. Hey, good morning, everybody. Still here with you. So a couple people, I want to run down what you can expect on the show today. So at 8:30 a.m., we're scheduled to speak with Vanessa Enoch. She is a black female who, at the time, she was a doctoral student back in 2014. She got arrested because basically she was exercising her First Amendment rights, right? And as I read, there was a settlement that was made just a couple days ago. She's going to come on and talk about that. A little bit of local history I don't want us to forget. What are the ramifications? We will discuss. Good morning. At 9 a.m., we're scheduled to speak with Kevin Aldridge. Kevin Aldridge is one of the co-owners of the Ohio Kings. The Ohio Kings are on their way to the playoffs. So he's going to come in or Zoom style in and talk about that playoff run. At 9:30 a.m., we're scheduled to speak with a brother named Rico. He owns a business called Bodied By Rico. I've never met him before, but I've heard of him. And we're going to talk about his bodybuilding journey. And perhaps we can get some tips from him. I know it's springtime. Everybody wants to get that spring and that summer body. You want to look good. Oh, thank you, Tanika. I appreciate you. You want to look good. You want to feel good. So perhaps the brother can give us some tips. I mean, just kind of looking at the images that were posted, and he sent me a few images. I mean, damn, that takes a lot of dedication to get your body like that. What does it take? We'll talk to Bodied By Rico at 9:30 a.m. Along the way, you got me. You got me. Culture, politics, and pleasure. Or should I say people, politics, and pleasure this morning. And I want to talk about numerous things, but I want to talk about Kanye West. I haven't really talked about Kanye West too much. I've been kind of staying away from it because, to me, Kanye West is low-hanging fruit. And I think people should stay out of it. He's going through a highly publicized, divorce from Kim Kardashian. And if you don't know, she's moved on. She got a new boo in her life, and they've been going back and forth. I mean, it just looks terrible, quite honestly. They've been going back and forth on Instagram and on social media. The comic known as D.L. Hughley got involved because maybe there was some threats made and just some jokes back and forth. Trevor Noah, who's a comic, he got involved. He made a statement. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. Come on, y'all. Come on, we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's clear to anybody that's watching that perhaps Kanye West is dealing with some mental health issues. This is low-hanging fruit. I just don't understand why any other man is making any comments about this man and his relationship with what appears to be his estranged wife. I just don't get it. Stay out of it. He violated their racial intimidation policy. So apparently he went online and was referring to Trevor Noah as a coon. Something that's essentially what he was trying to say, which, that's poor taste in my opinion, but people going to do what people going to do. I get it. But he did that because Trevor Noah was responding about his situation. Talking about, this is sad to see. This is what happens when a woman tries to leave a man. Trevor Noah comes off like one of them dudes that want to be liked by everybody, right? He always want to say the right thing and everybody claps and, oh, you're so smart. And I'm like, yo, stay out of that man's business. You don't know what's happening in a marriage. You don't know, just because you see something on social media, you don't know every message just being sent back and forth. That man's got kids involved. And so you're just going to jump into his nightmare and talking about this is hard to see. This is what happens when a woman tries to leave a man. Trying to get all the women's on his side. It's some dudes like that. Trying to cozy up to the women's. Come on, man. Stay in your lane, Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is super funny. I like Trevor Noah. His show is hilarious. His politics are on point. But stay in your lane, man. I feel like people they're trying to increase their social media presence and try to stay relevant by, getting into it with Kanye West. Stay out of that stuff, man. That's nothing to do. You stay out of other people's relationships. Same thing with DL. Now, I understand that Kanye may have threatened him or something like that, and maybe that's a bridge too far, but I saw some of the tweets that DL Hughley has made. I mean, just completely inappropriate. And DL Hughley ain't perfect. He ain't got no perfect background. He ain't been no perfect man to his wife. And so here you are talking about another man and their situation, getting all into the intimate details about the boyfriend and the boyfriend's penis side. I'm like, whoa, bro. Keep talking about Trump. Stay out of that. They're going back and forth. This shit is stupid. So what we doing? Crazy. I want to say it again. Memo to everybody. Kanye West is low-hanging fruit. Everybody know he might be dealing with some issues. Stay out of it. But I get it. In today's social media world, you want to get inside because that makes you relevant. I get it. That helps to keep DL relevant. Two things keeps D.L. Hughley relevant. One, Vlad TV, and these kind of things. And I like the brother's politics. I mean, when he be talking politics, I think he's spot on. Spot on. I haven't always agreed with everything, but for the most part, I think he's spot on. This kind of stuff is beneath you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the world we live in now. Everybody's relationship is fodder for everybody else. I get it. Traci writes, Kanye is not exempt from comments and criticism. He chose to live a public life. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. If you're just like an average person, I see that. But if you're a big-time star like Trevor Noah and D.L. Hughley, I mean, don't you got bigger fish to fry? I just all I'm saying. Don't you got bigger fish to fry than that? I just feel like it's beneath them. That's what I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Kamika writes, we should all speak out about a man stalking and emotionally abusing his ex-wife for the world to see. Is that what's really going on here? I don't really know. I mean, we're only getting just one side of the story. I don't really know what's going on in this situation. To be honest with you, nobody outside of that relationship and that dynamic really know what's going on. I don't really know. I don't really know. I have no idea. I do know that it seems like maybe Kanye needs some help. I'm sympathetic to it. I agree with you. If a woman says she want to move on or a man say he want to move on, let him move on. Let him move on. I'm with that. But is he stalking her and emotionally abusing her? I don't know. I mean, I've seen some videos. He's talking about access to his kids. Nobody seems to care about that. He's talking about who's with my children. Nobody seems to care about that. They want to focus on just the actions of the black man. I think the new boyfriend is on some other ish. You the new boyfriend and you posting stuff about how you in bed with another man's wife. That shit dangerous. That's the kind of stuff that can get you killed. That's a very dangerous proposition right there. We're dealing with some very raw, sensitive emotions, very sensitive. And I feel like we playing games with the wrong things. That's the kind of stuff that get people 6 feet under every single day, in every single way. I just feel like it's a lot of adults acting like children, and Kanye ain't exempt from it. He ain't exempt. He could display better behavior, obviously so. But I'm like, I saw some of this stuff from D.L. Hughley. I'm like, really, D.L.? Really? I'm like, this what you doing, bro? You got time for this? You ain't got nothing better to do? And I don't know. I haven't read a lot of the comments, but there might be people in the comments on these Twitter pages or whatever just like cheering them on. Like, you tell them, man. You tell them. That's right. He mentioned you. You got to obliterate him. I'm like, really? And, DL's making jokes about Kanye's mental health. And then he'll go right back to his radio show and be a proponent for mental health. I mean, you can't have it both ways. What do you stand for? But I get it. It's the world that we live in. It's the internet. This is what you got to do to get big audiences and be relevant. I get it. I understand it. But I'm like, whoa. We're talking about very sensitive issues here. We're talking about very sensitive issues here. Naisha writes, Kanye says he wants to control his narrative. Apparently the Kardashians have control and power over the media. We're talking about very sensitive issues here. And I'm like, you talking about a man and he's breaking up with his wife. They got children. That ain't no plaything. That ain't no plaything. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing to play with. And I just feel like there's a lack of insensitivity on both ways. Like, everybody knows that maybe Kanye is dealing with some mental health issues. That's low-hanging fruit. That ain't no real challenge. But he's got a big audience, so if you go with him, maybe it'll bring more attention to you and you can increase your Twitter following or your Instagram following, your Facebook following. I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, stay out of it. Trevor Noah, he want to be every woman's friend. He want everybody to like him. You ever met them dudes before? He want everybody to like me. Why are you talking about what another relationship is like? Don't you got some jokes? Don't you got a show tomorrow? Go work on your show. Trevor Noah goes on Instagram talking about, well, why are you weighing in on this? It ain't your business. It's not your business. Why is Trevor Noah weighing in on what he perceives to be Kanye West's treatment of his ex-wife? You don't know the dynamics of that relationship. You don't know what's really going on. And then he tries to take that and place it into a larger argument about the harassment that women face when they try to leave a relationship. What? What? You don't know what's really going on. Nobody really knows. But Trevor Noah is trying to score a point with the women's. He's trying to score points with the women's. That's all it is. Oh, he understands us. Let me follow him. Let me get in his DMs. Trevor Noah tweeted or posted, quote, "You may not feel sorry for Kim because she's reaching famous, but what she's going through is terrifying to watch, and it shines a spotlight on what so many women go through when they choose to leave a toxic relationship." What we're seeing here is one of the most powerful and one of the richest women in the world unable to get her ex to stop texting her, to stop chasing her, after her, to stop harassing her. Trevor Noah need to sit his ass down. It's none of your business. You don't know the particulars of what's going on. You have no idea. They have children involved. And then you're going to try to cast him as an abusive person, and we don't know the deal. We don't know the details of this. But because it's a black man and it's Kanye, everybody going to run to his side and be like, oh, yeah, Trevor, thank you. Sit your ass down. Cuss his ass out, too. Nat writes, Trevor Noah's mom was shot in the head by his stepdad. If that's true, then he's sensitive about it. And I understand that. Okay, I'm empathetic. But so what? Just because that happened to your mom don't mean that that's what's happening now. But it would explain why he's so sensitive about it. I get it. Kamika writes, I think you need to brush up on what's been going on with Kanye for weeks before you caved for him. I'm not caping for Kanye. And what am I missing here? I mean, I've been watching this shit for weeks like everybody else. I feel like I know most of the details. What am I missing, Kamika? I'm not caping for Kanye. It may come across like that. I'm not caping for Kanye. I'm not caping for Kanye. I'm caping for the right thing. And I'm just saying, you're dealing with a very sensitive situation right here. You know, that's a married couple. It's very sensitive. Diana says, correct. It's a very sensitive thing. And I just feel like people are like, they try taking advantage of low-hanging fruit without all of the available information. Like I said, we don't know if she's sending him text messages and back and forth. We don't know if there's some kind of antagonizing going on. We have no idea. I do know that I just feel in general, like when men are going through something, it gets pushed to the side and ridiculed and minimized. I get over it. When women are going through something, it's the biggest thing ever. We can never get over it. We can't have enough empathy for it. I'm just saying it generally speaking. You know, maybe that's correct to this. TNT writes, sounds like you are. Well, if it sounds like I am, then where's my caping? I'm caping. I'm caping for men or anybody really that's going through a difficult divorce, and then you got people in your business. You know what I'm saying? Kamika writes, Kanye is bothering us. I would love to mind my business. Is that right? I can understand it might feel like that. I just wish all the parties involved peace. I hope they find peace. And I hope they're able to work this out for the betterment of them. Oh, okay, cool. I hope they're able to work this out for the betterment of their family and themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what I hope. I hope they're able to work it out for the children and for themselves. I wish everybody the best. Wish everybody the best. And it just looks real bad for all. I'm like, there's children involved here. You got a boyfriend talking about I'm in bed with your wife. Ain't nobody said nothing about that. People think that's funny. Like, oh, good burn. Good burn? What? Okay, that's where we are now. You got people insinuating themselves into a situation they don't know the details about because of stuff that happened in their own personal life, which happens a lot. People go through something traumatic and they just project it out to every little situation that happens in their life. I get it. Diane writes, put the children first. Exactly. Traci writes, why could this not be a cry for help by Kanye? I thought we were all about mental health. I saw Kanye West on video, hands like this, talking to God, because he was talking about some text messages that he got from his now ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife's boyfriend, talking about how he in bed with her. If that ain't a cry for help, I don't know what is. Maybe he in his feelings about it. I mean, you might be able to understand that. Maybe he is. I'm just saying, D.O. Hughley, I know that Kanye might have threatened you, but what's to it? And then, I'm disappointed in D.O., kind of. I mean, this is why it was wheelhouse. I'm looking at some of these tweets. March 16th. Now, Kanye, when you say you had to explain my jokes to people, are these real people or the ones you keep in your head? Hashtag Team DL. So do we support mental health even in black men, or is it something to ridicule? Which is it, DL? It can't be both. Here's another tweet from D.O. Hughley on March 16th. Ye is at it again, huh? Question mark. Well, at least I wasn't crying on the phone about how big Pete's Peter is. What? This is a grown man talking about another man's what? If you want her back, instead of acting up, why don't you try doing some well, he said D-I-C-K, but some penis ups. This is what a grown man is tweeting to another grown man. And y'all think this shit is acceptable? Come on, man. Step your game up. This is funny? This shit ain't funny. It ain't funny in no shape, form, or fashion. Well, maybe it's a little bit funny. I don't know. You tell me. Kanye, March 16th. This is D.O. Hughley. Kanye, do you know how horrible you got to be to make a Kardashian date a white man? So he telling jokes. This ain't nothing but jokes for DL. Right? This helps keep DL relevant. And I do know that Kanye was talking about DL and the way he dresses because DL was making little shots at him. I mean, all I'm saying is sometimes Dale writes, I'm over here cracking up. All I'm saying is sometimes most times you got to stay out of grown folks' business. Kamiki writes, he threatened DL and his family. I'm aware of that. But what's your response to that? Is your response like, I know nobody takes the high road anymore. Like there is no high road. Michelle Obama's like, oh, when they go low, we go high. Everybody's like, fuck that. When they go low, we go lower. There is no high road. The high road was broken up. It had potholes in it. We couldn't get an infrastructure bill to pay for, to repave and improve the highway. The high road is gone. There is no high road. Everything's shoot for the bottom these days. I mean, it's hilarious. It makes for good fodder for shows and media and stuff like that. But come on, yo. Is that really necessary? Kevin writes, you just hate DL, Nathan Ivey. You done told us in the past. I don't hate DL. I don't. I just told you. Yeah, Cincinnati potholes in the high road. You can try to take the high road if you want to, but them potholes going to fuck your car all the way up. Yeah, I did tell my D.L. Hughley story. I'm going to smack D.L. Hughley across his mouth. The only reason I didn't is because I was working for Radio 1, and I didn't want to lose my job. Other than I smacked him right across his face. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? You better, little Negro. You better look around. But that has nothing to do with it. You know, I respect DL. And again, his politics, on point. Now, when I hear him talking politics, and even some of the social stuff, on point. On point. So, no, it's not that. I know somebody was going to say that, Kevin. Fame writes, Disclaimer, Nathan ain't a fan and personally hates DL. But on the flip side, Nathan's spot on about DL. This ain't clue. Nobody cares that Kanye is having a public meltdown that ends bad. Right. Thank you so much. Fame agrees with me? Fame agrees with me this morning? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. So as I told you, we got several guests. We'll come back to this. We'll come back. What's up, Luddy? What up, Grizz? We'll come back to this because my guest is backstage. Her name is Vanessa Enoch. Hey, Vanessa, how are you? Can you hear me? Yeah, she can. Let me bring Vanessa straight on. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey there. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, but I'm hearing some kind of feedback. I hear me. Okay, Vanessa's working on that. Okay. We'll try to get her on here in a second. Now, yesterday, we had some technical difficulties. I don't know what it was. It's just, I don't know. I'm not sure what it was. But hopefully we won't have the same things today. If we have any video issues, Vanessa, I can just give you the number. You can always call in. That works too. Okay. I gave her the number. Maybe she'll just give us a call here. I want to make sure we have a great conversation you can actually hear. Yes, somebody, Carmelita says, Fame agrees with you. You got to be wrong. Now, we all know that Fame got a strong mental. We all know that. He just don't give a damn. He don't got no filter. Man ain't got no filter at all. None. But again, Kanye West is low-hanging fruit. These D.L. Hughley, you too big for that. Trevor Noah, you too big for that. I read some of these sophomore tweets from D.L. Hughley. I'm like, bro, bad taste, man. Bad taste. And like I said, D.O., everybody got dirt. D.O. did his own dirt. D.O. get his own dirt. Hear nobody talking about his dirt. The shit he did to his wife and baby out of wedlock. He don't want to talk about that. It's just like, does the high road even exist anymore? I say no. There is no high road. It's whatever gets clicks, whatever gets laughs, whatever increases your social media following. Let me go back and bring Vanessa on. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey there. Can you hear me okay now?
I hear you great.
Awesome.
I hear you great. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for having me.
Almost deaf. So I read about the settlement, and this goes back to 2014. I'm like, damn, it took that long?
Yes, it did. And lots of renditions of this thing. In fact, they offered to throw me peanuts, and I still ended up with peanuts, but less peanuts than I got is what they were initially offering. But, for me, it was the principle of the thing and making sure that my name was cleared. There was video evidence of what happened. But, yeah, it goes back to 2014.
Okay, well, take us back there. Take us back, a little local history. Take us back to 2014 and tell us what happened and what led to your arrest and the settlement just a few days ago.
Yeah, so I had been covering Judge Hunter's, I had only started covering Judge Hunter's trial. It was during the pretrial hearing phase. It was the first time I'd been to the courthouse. And I had been doing a case study on Judge Hunter from 2013, even before they had filed criminal charges against her. And myself, along with a research partner, had been interviewing judges and attorneys and court staff trying to get to the heart of what happened in her case. And the first time I went to court, I had called ahead. I had a requirement by my PhD program to provide 6 to 9 articles on news stories. And so I chose to do my news stories on the same thing I was doing my case study on, and that was Judge Traci Hunter. And while I was doing, I went into the courtroom and spoke with court staff about what I needed to do in order to get permission to record on that day. They had me sit with the media, and before court was over, just before court was over, I'd left the courtroom to go to the restroom. And immediately I heard people coming out of the courtroom. And so I hustled back and stood outside the door because Mr. Bennett, Clyde Bennett, had said that he would do a press conference, which he often did throughout the trial. I awaited him coming out. I took photographs of the Nation of Islam that was there to protect Judge Hunter. I took pictures of her coming out with them, and, pretty much everybody coming out of the courtroom. Ultimately, what happened is Mr. Corbin, Avery Corbin, Judge Hunter's former bailiff, was also standing outside along with several other people recording. And Kimball Perry walks out of the courtroom, walks right up to Avery Corbin. And of course, since Kimball Perry was a reporter with the Cincinnati Enquirer, which I did not know that at the time, when Kimball Perry had approached, and I see Sister V saying she was there that day, absolutely. And in fact, Sister V had gone to get permission from the court, and we were trying to find out what we had to do, because I had a requirement to report for local and national news outlets as part of my program. And so when Kimball Perry walks up to Mr. Corbin, and Mr. Corbin, continued recording, he walked right up in his face. And then he turned and started walking towards a hallway. And of course, the whole crowd followed him to that hallway. Well, he yells, he's using an iPad to record in the hallways. And all of the deputies ran in that direction. And it was crazy. And everyone did. And everyone's got cameras on Avery Corbin as the deputies are yelling, turn it off. There's no recording in the hallways. And one of the deputies, as he passed me, told me to turn mine off, which I did. And then I stood there watching, trying to get an understanding of what was going on, just like everyone else. And the deputies continued, yelling at him, and he was saying, there's no signs or anything in the hallway. And Judge Nato told us to step outside if we needed to use our cell phones and our digital devices, which he did. And they said, no, there's no filming anywhere in the courthouse. And so ultimately, because he challenged them, and as I was walking away, they called me back, and he said, search her iPad. It was another woman whose iPad they saw, another Black woman. And they proceeded to search our iPads. Initially, I told them I would not allow them to search mine because I had confidential documents and interviews on my iPad. And they insisted, the police officer or the deputy insisted that I open the iPad or he would arrest me. So I opened it. I didn't want to be arrested. After he searched my iPad, he actually let me go. And then the other deputy had him call me back. He said, wait a minute, don't go anywhere. They called me back, and he, proceeded to put handcuffs on me and arrest me. Had not done anything. And, on the way down on the elevator, I'm asking them the whole time, what am I being arrested for? Why am I being charged? What am I being charged for? And he said, we'll figure it out when we get downstairs. Took me down to the sheriff's office, chained me and Mr. Corbin to a bench while I begged to use the restroom. Mr. Corbin was pleading my case. Clyde Bennett comes in the office. Somebody had him come down, and he's asking, what are they being charged for? And they then said, they would figure it out. So it took them about an hour and a half or so before they figured out what they were going to charge us with. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on a bench, chained to the bench. I'm having feminine issues and desperately needing to go to the restroom. So I'm in hysterics. There was a white woman chained to the bench right next to me, a younger woman. A white deputy walks up to her and says, do you have to go to the restroom? And she said, yes. Yeah, I think so. And so He unchains her, takes her to the restroom while I'm still sitting there begging to go. They told me I'd have to wait until a female deputy came back from lunch. So I watched all of the female deputies leave and come back, and I'm still begging. They never allowed me to go to the restroom. So I'm sitting there, I'm humiliated, upset. It was just crazy. But then after that, they had charged me, and Mr. Corbin with disorderly conduct, and they charged me, in addition to that, with failure to ID. I forgot to mention they did ask me for my ID after they had handcuffs on me. And I told them, I can't produce an ID. It's in my purse, but I do have one with me. So they charged me with failure to ID on that day. And then they crossed that out on the ticket. And so I had one charge when I left there, disorderly conduct. Janaea Trotter had come forward and offered to represent me. So she did. And when she went to ask about what I was being charged for, the citations, they produced an additional charge. And they also charged me with failure to ID. They had initially, the initial two charges was disorderly conduct and failure to comply. They scratched that one out, and they charged me 5 days later. They also charged me with failure to ID. So as a result of that, about 3 weeks after the incident, Lincoln had the sheriff, Jim Neal, on his show. And the day after, I had a 6-figure contract with an IT firm, which I was working as a project manager on a contract. And they terminated my contract the day after Jim Neal talked about what happened in the hallways of the courthouse. They terminated my contract. And so I didn't initially sue. I wanted to sue right away. I didn't initially sue because I couldn't find an attorney who would take the case. So I ended up having to file on my own pro se. I wrote my own lawsuit and filed it. And after I filed the case, attorneys came out of the woodwork to be willing to represent me. But I'd already filed. So, I did eventually go with an attorney. I didn't want to ever represent myself in that case. But I did end up getting an attorney or two attorneys. And, I also worked with Mr. Corbin to help him file his case. And so it took about 6 years back and forth trying to mediate and just going through various other legal filings and all of that kind of stuff to get to the point where we were able to go to trial. Ultimately, the thing that stopped the trial process is that each time we would win the case at the initial court, the prosecutor's office, who represented the sheriff's office, continued to appeal. And so they appealed every decision leading up to this. And in fact, all the way up until we were actively in trial, my attorneys continued to say, we're not going to win this case. We're not going to win this case. When we won the case, they said they'll likely appeal because they've appealed every decision up to now. So the case is not quite over. We have not, it should be over. But I don't have a check in my hand, and it could be quite a while before that happens. And ultimately, the thought is that we will probably end up having to fight an appeal. So that's where we are right now. And I guess the last thing I will say about it is my judgment was for $35,000. It was by jury, and my attorneys will walk away with over $1 million for having represented me in this case. That definitely was a shock factor for me. And, it's sad, but it is the way our legal system works. So that's pretty much my story.
Wow. Damn. So how does that work? So you get 35 after many, many, many years. And the attorneys are going to walk away with over $1 million?
Yep. In fact,
Wow.
so ultimately what happened in my case is that they separated out my judgment from their attorney's fees to make sure that they were paid for. So there were like 9 to 11 counts in that we sued for. And what we only, Avery and myself, were only really entitled to collect damages on the First Amendment claims, which is what we went to trial for, where our attorneys were able to collect an hourly rate for the entire case because they separated my judgment from their fees. And so they'll get over $1 million and I get 35,000.
Wow, that is completely unfair. You talking about the
Exactly.
system going against honest people.
Exactly.
Because I don't know you like that, Dr. Enoch, but I know of you, and you seem to be good people to me. So, and I remember that situation in 2014. And weren't there other people, journalists, that were in the hallway with recording instruments and devices? So, what was the difference? Is there like a license or a badge that you're supposed to apply for? And do you know what the current rules are? Like, if I currently went down to the courthouse, can I be in the hallway with my laptop and be recording things?
So I'm not sure what the court rules are right now. I haven't been down in a while, but definitely if I go down to report on any cases, I will find out before I go what the rules are because they have since changed. And I believe that the rules are stricter. And so you have to definitely find out what they are. They changed the rules because of what happened with me because I filed a lawsuit. So there are different rules now. But in terms of your other question, you ask.
Well, yeah, what were the back then? There were some people. I remember the video. I remember the video of what was happening, and I remember thinking, "Wait a minute, there's people right there." Like as you're being led away, you and Avery are being led away. The camera caught people with recording devices that you were walking past. So what was the difference?
There were about 20 or 30 people. The difference, I believe, was our skin color. The one woman who did record the event was an African American woman, but she ran and hid her iPad, so they didn't catch her. But everybody else recording was white. They did not ask if I was if I had permission to record. They also did not ask if any of the other people in the hallway had permission to record. They just made the assumption that because we were Black, that we didn't have permission to record, and the others in the hallway did. It was fortunate that it was all caught on tape because had it not been recorded, they would not have believed our story. In fact, the sheriff's office put out a media release on that day full of lies. They said that I had yelled at deputies inside the courtroom. They said that Mr. Corbin had shoved Kimball Perry inside the courtroom.
Right.
You know, and anybody in Cincinnati knows if that kind of thing happened, we'd be under the jail, right? But it did not happen. That is what they put out in the press release. And so the media took it and ran with it. It was on every station, which is another reason why I decided to sue. It was very difficult to get contracts, to find another job. In fact, I got turned down for jobs based on that arrest record because I worked in the tech field. And so just like in banking, it is, you know, a situation where they're not going to hire somebody who has been arrested or who has, you know, that kind of a reputation. So ultimately, that is the reason why I decided to sue. One of the listeners asked, who's paying for this? Who's paying the attorneys? So if you live in Hamilton County, you are, because ultimately, when someone sues the county, the people pay, and that's why it's so important that you know we're watchdogs and we make sure that law enforcement officers are not, you know, acting inappropriately, because whenever they get sued, it is the people who pay the price. So yeah, it is the taxpayers who are who have to pay for that.
Aside from race, which I do believe was a factor, do you think that it was retaliation because they perceived you to be supporters of Traci Hunter?
Absolutely. And I should have said that. They just assumed that because of race, we were supporters. In fact, the articles, all of the articles and all of the news report said Traci Hunter's supporters arrested outside of the courtroom. At that time, I was absolutely not a supporter per se. I was there to do a case study, there to report on the case, but because that is how they casted me, um, it was retaliation, and in a couple of ways. Mr. Corbin stood up for himself by demanding that he did not record. Him standing up for himself, I'm sure, agitated them, and it played on their power, their issues of power and control. And then, of course, anybody who was down there to support Judge Hunter, they were bound to retaliate against. And I happened to be there in that place when they were looking to, stir up trouble for anybody who was coming down there to support her. So absolutely, it was for sure retaliation. And in fact, that was one of our attorney's theories of the case, and something that was brought forward during the trial as well, that it was retaliation. I personally looked at the badge of one of the officers, and you can see him on the video yelling at me, HOGAN, I'm the only one in the courthouse, look me up. And all I did was looked at his badge because I'm writing a case study, so I need to know who I'm talking to. I need to know who did what. And that's how I likely also got caught up in the crossfires, because by me looking at that badge, I was challenging his power and his authority, and also was retaliated against.
Right. Like you were going to tell on him and document his name. Wow. Do you know if those sheriff deputies are still employed by the county?
They are still employed. And really, they shouldn't be, because they lied on the witness stand. They lied under oath during my trial, as did the former bailiff, who is an attorney. Judge Nadel's former bailiff was also there and testified against us to say, yeah, she was yelling inside the courtroom and he shoved Kimball Perry. And so I don't believe that the jury believed them. They may have believed them in Avery's case, just because the whole idea was that the prosecutor's side had put forth is that there was a war between Mr. Corbin and the bailiffs and the newspaper, the media. And so I'm sure that was likely also.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked, why does simple case like this take so long? But I think you kind of spoke to it, is because the prosecutor's office kept appealing. And it's kind of like they were involved with it. Like, you know what, we're going to play this all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to challenge our power, our authority. We're going to play this all the way out to the fullest extent of the law. To me, I think that's a bad exercise and usage of the law against a private citizen who is merely trying to exercise their First Amendment rights. That's
absolutely
that's crazy.
And of course, the prosecutor's office, which is led by Joe Dieters, he had a personal axe to grind against Judge Hunter. And so in her case, you see that played out by him actually in the background the entire time, controlling everything that happened in her case, even though she had reported him to the Ohio Supreme Court, and him along with other assistant prosecutors, for representing her and suing her at the very same time. And so he had an axe to grind against her. And I also, because I was there and reporting on her case, that aligned me with Judge Hunter's case. And so therefore, of course, and Judge Hunter's bailiff was also part of the lawsuit. And so it also aligned him. And so he therefore then had an axe to grind against us as well.
What would you do it again?
I would do it. Yes, I would. Absolutely. I would do it again. And in fact, I'm sure that they assumed that because I was arrested, that I would not continue coming down there and I'd walk away and, I wouldn't continue the fight. And I did continue to report. I reported on every day of her trial was there and reporting on her case. I also reported on the Ray Tenzing case. And because of both of those, the reporting in both of those cases, the Cincinnati Herald won an award for criminal justice reporting because of the articles that I submitted in that case. And so, yeah, I would absolutely do it again. I think the important thing is for the public to know and understand what's happening in the hallways of the courthouse. It is the public's right to understand that process and to know what's happening. And so I would, for sure, I would absolutely, with everything that's happened as a result, I think it's necessary that when you owe. And so I felt it was my responsibility to continue to report, to continue to fight, and I would absolutely do it all over again.
Well, I'm glad you did, and thank you so much for your time this morning. I'm sad that all happened to you. Loss of time and money, potential revenue, all because you were trying to exercise your First Amendment rights. But I appreciate your strength, and I'm glad to know that you're out there and that you were out there, doing the right thing for our community. So, again, thank you for your time this morning.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's Dr. Vanessa Enoch, and you heard it straight from her, man. What a terrible, terrible thing. See, that's how the system try to squash you. They try to smash you in a legal way. Why is the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office appealing a case that so obviously they lost? Because Joe Dieters is the prosecutor. And I'll say it again. He's a bad actor. You're going to use the prosecutor's office like it's a tool for for a personal vendetta, which we saw with Traci Hunter. Not to say that there aren't some issues in all of this, but I'm just saying, though, this is what you're doing. And I hate going to the courthouse. I hate going, and I don't have no record. I'm average Joe Schmo, clean record dude. I hate going down there because the sheriff deputies be, and this is years ago, the sheriff deputies be on beast mode all the time with the chest all poked out. I'm like, this weak man-ish, you got your little badge now, you think you tough. I don't want to be around that. I hate going to the courthouse for any reason, any reason, even when I don't have a court case. Because they be down there on some super belligerent, super tough, super cop stuff. I don't want to hear all that, man. Just do your job. And I understand that, sometimes you got to get tough because people get out of line. Great. As adults, we know when that's necessary and when not necessary. And I've been down there, I had some traffic stuff I had to deal with, some tickets or something like that, I think. It was something small. And hate it. You just sitting there forever till they finally call your name. And it's just a bad scene for me. But I do remember it. I thought it was so wild. I'm like, wait a minute. They're arresting these two people. Brother Avery Corbin, one of the original OGs from the Chop Shop. He might be listening now. He used to always be in here. And Dr. Vanessa Enoch. And I remember watching the video like, wait a minute. They're walking past people who are actually recording. I never got to know Kimball Perry, but what I heard about him, I didn't like. He was on some weak man-ish. I ain't got time for that. I had time for that at all. And I saw the sisters dress him down one day. Last time I saw him, he got dressed down outside the courthouse. Whew. They dressed him down so bad. It was fangs and fur and teeth. He had to walk across the street. They was like, not over here. You can't even stand over here. He had to literally walk across the street. I didn't feel no remorse for him at all. You know what I'm saying? I was there for my peoples. I got they back, not yours. And so he got what he deserved in that. I know he's departed since then, so I guess let him rest in peace. And, condolences to his family. But I just heard a lot of bad things about him. Never got a chance. Maybe I spoke to him once in passing. Never interviewed him or anything like that. Never got a chance to do all of that. But I'm glad she shared it. And see, that's how the system can be used against you. And did you hear that? So the lawyers are going to make millions, or they're going to make what? 7 figures. She getting 35 grand. This is 2014. Says she still hasn't received the check. So we'll see what happens. I appreciate her coming on to share, her story with us this morning. And I appreciate the fact she said, I kept doing what I do. They thought I wasn't gonna come back down there. I came right back down there. I loves that. He's like, okay, we're gonna handle this. And as she's telling the story, they tried to torture her. We're gonna keep you chained here. We know you gotta use the restroom. Hold it. We're gonna torture you because we think you're down here supporting Traci Hunter. And as she said, she didn't describe herself as a Traci Hunter supporter. But they racially profiled her. That's what it seems like to me. Again, this is just my opinion. I don't have any facts. And just not a good sign. Something we should always keep in mind. So I appreciate her coming on. So as I said, we've got a series of guests. So 8:30, we had Dr. Vanessa Enoch. At 9, coming up, and he's backstage right now, we got Kevin Aldridge. He's one of the co-owners of the Ohio Kings, and the Ohio Kings are headed to the playoffs. And let's tap in with Brother Kevin. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, good morning, Nathan. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome to the show. I see you got the Kings hat.
Absolutely, man.
And the sweat, looking good.
Yes, sir.
Oh, absolutely, man. So tell us what's going on. The Kings are headed to the playoffs.
Yeah, man. We start our opening round of the playoffs in the ABA regional playoffs this Friday at 7:30. We're going to be at Ivy Tech Gymnasium in Noblesville, Indiana, and we'll be playing our first round game against a team out of Chicago called the Knights. They've got a 13-4 record this year. We finished the season at 8-4 this year, and so they're a 3 seed. We're a 4 seed, and so we're looking forward to that game, man. This will be our first opportunity to actually play a playoff game. For those who remember, we started the Kings back in 2019 and had a great season that first year. We finished 11-4 in our first season, and we're set to host a home playoff game in Cincinnati in March of 2020. And then that's right around the time where COVID really blew up. The NBA canceled their season. Our league, the ABA, followed shortly behind that. And so we never actually got an opportunity to play in the playoffs, even though we had made it. And so we were very disappointed. That was a bitter pill to swallow. And then, of course, we sat out all the next season because of COVID and came back this year. And so we're just excited about the opportunity to get to experience that playoff environment, to finish what we couldn't back in the 2019-2020 season. And we're just going to ride this thing out, man, and see how far we can go. We feel like we've got a great team, a championship level team, but this is going to be tough competition because we've only lost to 2 teams this season, and we're going to have to go through both of those teams to get out of our region. So it's definitely going to be a test for us.
Okay, you got to go through the briar patch, huh? It's not going to be easy.
No doubt.
So how does the playoff work in the league? You're in the ABA, is that correct?
Yes.
So is it? How does the playoffs work in the ABA? Is it one game? Is it a series of games? Is it home and away and that kind of thing? How does it work?
Yeah, so the ABA, the playoff structure, the way they do it is actually kind of a mix of the NCAA tournament and the ABA finals. And so the way it works is the ABA has a great number of teams across the country. And so what they do is they divide it up into regions. So there are 8 different regions. We're in the North Central region. And so we will play in a 3-day tournament, assuming we'll play 3 days as long as we keep winning. So there's an opening round on Friday. We play in, and so the winners on Friday will play the top 2 seeds in our region on Saturday, and then the winners of those games will advance to the regional final on Sunday. We get out of our region, then to Kansas City, Missouri, where the 8 best teams from across the country will meet together in Kansas City, and they'll play a single elimination tournament all the way up to the ABA finals, which is then a best of 3. Assuming we get out of our, and we plan to, we'll be on the Kansas playing games and hopefully working our championship.
Okay, that sounds good. I mean, a little bit of lag, as they call it, in your stream just a little bit. I'm not sure if you can turn something on or off on your end, but hold on, I'm seeing something on my end. Okay, great. You got good bars now. That's interesting. So from an owner perspective, what does this mean as you build the brand, as you build, on this opportunity? What does this mean for you to go to the playoffs?
Well, it's big, obviously. I mean, you know what it is, Nathan, to try to build a brand, especially in a town like Cincinnati, where you've already got a lot of competitions for people's dollars, particularly in the sports market. And so we knew a part of our game plan of being able to grow this team and this brand was you got to win. I mean, that's the bottom line. We definitely wanted to create an experience at our games that people couldn't get anyplace else. But in addition to that, you got to play entertaining and winning basketball. So making it to the playoffs is a big thing. We can build our brand around. We've been in existence for 2 seasons that we've actually played. Both those seasons, we've had winning records. We've qualified for the playoffs. The one thing we haven't done through no fault of our own is get a chance to see how far we can go in the playoffs. So as we try to build our brand and build it around this idea of winning basketball and championship basketball, this is a great opportunity for us. And we had a meeting with the players on Monday to explain just that very thing to them, that they're part of this foundation, the building blocks of what we're trying to do here with the Ohio Kings. And winning games and winning championships is an important part of that. And we feel like that at the end of the day, if we can make a deep run, win a championship, that's something that we can build around and that Cincinnati can be proud of, to say that they've got championship level basketball team and those kind of elite players in the city. And we're hopeful that our success will draw more people out, which is why we really hope folks will tune in to the playoff game. We actually started live streaming our games this year. We've been partnering with a network called TKDS Sports Network. You can download their app, through, any of your mobile devices. If you got Roku TV, you can find it there as well, or Fire Stick TV. You can download the apps there and set up an account, and you can watch Ohio Kings basketball on live stream. And so we would greatly encourage people to go out. If you haven't been to a game physically or you haven't seen us play, this is a good time to get on, because you're going to see some of the highest level of play in the ABA. I mean, now you're in the playoffs. So just like in any other sport, you've kind of weeded out the teams that don't deserve to be there. Now you're dealing with the best that the league has to offer. So it's a great time to jump on board. See the talent, see what your local team is looking like, and you can make a decision from there. But I know, folks won't be disappointed.
And yeah, I even if I asked the question as you were talking, I kind of answered in my own head. It's all about winning, right? Like, in some things, people got to see you be successful first before they get tapped into it, And that's just how it is. And I would imagine it's like that in sports as well. You guys go deep in the playoffs or win a championship. Oh man, now people want to be associated, right? It's just the way people are. I guess they're like that about most things, but certainly about sports in a town like Cincinnati. And is there a chance to travel? If people want to travel, is that a possibility? Is there a travel schedule? If I wanted to travel and support the team, how would I know what to do and where to go?
Yeah, so you can follow us on any of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, our website, theohiokings.com. We share all of our information on there, when and where you can go, even information about the hotel the team will be staying in over the course of the weekend. If you want to, do that, if you want to stay where the team is staying, we'll have all of that information out there for people to consume on our information channels. And I would encourage people again to just go out and like us. It just takes a quick click to like and to follow us on those platforms. And that way you can follow the team and keep an eye on it. It's like you said, I get it. Nathan, people are looking for proven products. They're looking for stuff that they can get on board with that's successful. And we know this is a process. We don't live under any delusion that folks are going to jump on board with the Ohio Kings just because we think, just because we think they're good. The world and of business doesn't work like that. We know we've got a lot to prove, and And we're out here earning it. And our guys who play for us, they know what it, because they're trying to earn and work their way to higher levels of basketball. You know, they're trying to make it to overseas. They're trying to make it to G League. So even our players understand what a grind it is, you know, to try to make dreams come true. But you got to stick to it. You got to stick through the ups and downs, the adversity. But the thing that I've learned is, you know, you got to celebrate the folks who do support you, and not worry so much about those who don't, because sometimes you can take for granted the support that you do have, worrying about the support that you don't have. And so that's why I'm so appreciative of folks like you and others. Our support has grown this year. We got a lot more sponsors on board with us this year. The African American Chamber of Commerce is supporting us. Kelly Youth Services has done a lot for us this season. In fact, they're sponsoring our travel this weekend to Noblesville, Indiana. So shout out to Joe Kelly and Tiffany Kelly and Kelly Youth Services for their strong support of the Ohio Kings, High Towers Petroleum. I mean, I could go on. Graydon Law Firm. I mean, there are a bunch of folks who've gotten on board and who are supporting us. And I believe that's only going to grow as we get to be more successful.
Mm-hmm. Now, will you and the other owners be traveling with the team? Like, as an owner, what is your role through this process? Do you want to be right there, or are you going to tap into, is it TKDS Sports Network?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll be in the house. I mean, my job as an owner, Nathan, is to stay out of the way. To be honest, my role is to support the coaches and players. I think our role as owners is to support the players and coaches in whatever way we can, to work our tails off to make sure we've got all the resources that we can possibly have, so that they can go out and do their jobs, which is coach and play the best basketball and not have to worry about a whole bunch of stuff. So if I'm doing my job, if I'm doing my job the right way, I'm invisible and everything is about the brand, the players, and the coaches. But we'll definitely be in the house, man. I wouldn't miss this. I've been waiting, 3 years basically for this opportunity to see our guys compete at the highest level in the playoffs. And I tell you, I'm not one of those owners, and I've been trying to work on this, Nathan. I'm not one of those owners that can just like sit back, in the seat and just chill out. You see these owners on TV, yeah. They're never showing any emotion. They're just, well, maybe Jerry Jones. I guess I'm more like Jerry Jones from the fan standpoint, not how I run the organization, but it's hard for me to sit back and not cheer. And I'm a competitive guy. So, man, I'm out there just like one of the fans watching the games. But, I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to get that cool demeanor where I can just sit back and watch the game. But, I love this team and these guys so much. It's hard when the games get tight and the excitement level is high not to get into it.
Now, I could imagine, you know what, you stole my thunder. That was my next question. I was wondering, you more like a Steve Ballmer type, the LA Clippers, very boisterous. He's very loud. His presence is definitely felt. Or are you more reserved as an owner? You kind of sit back and chill. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you make a face or two or something like that, but you just kind of chill. Nothing really shows up on the surface. I was wondering how you are. What about your co-owners? Do they have a similar personality during the game, or is everybody different?
Yeah, we're all very different. I think out of the three of us, I'm probably the most emotive as far as it relates to that sort of thing. The other two owners, they're more chill. They're more calm. They're more kind of out of the way, in the background guys. And so we kind of level each other out that way, in doing business, because we're all very different in our approach and things of that nature. And so I would say they're much more reserved. They're much more the type that you would normally see, meanwhile, I'm that guy, who might run out there on the court. I don't know.
Have you ever run out on the court before?
I haven't. It hasn't gotten to that point, but yeah, I mean, Nathan, it's a passion, it's when you love something, it's kind of hard to not show it, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm one of those guys, I kind of, wear the emotions on the sleeve from that standpoint. This is something that's meaningful to all of us, but for me, I really get into it in all aspects. I enjoy all aspects of owning this team and trying to build it. My other colleagues, they they like to stay in their lanes. I like to kind of have my hands in all of it. And so, it's that's the great thing about the process.
Somebody wants to know, how can I get Ohio Kings gear?
So you can check out our website again, theohiokings.com. And if you go there, we have a tab on there that says merchandise. You can look through there. You can see the different types of stuff that we have. I think you can go online and purchase. We've got a PayPal link there that you can select your items. I think we're generally about a week to 2 weeks out to get merchandise mailed out to folks from the time that they place their order. But we do try to get things to people as quickly as possible. So yeah, I would just again encourage people to go to theohiokings.com, and check us out.
Kevin, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. I'm excited for you. I love what you're doing, man. I've said it many times before. I think it's super dope. Wish you nothing but success, man, and go Kings.
Hey, thanks, Nathan. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, most def, brother. Thank you. Anytime. You already know. Yeah. That's Kevin Aldridge, one of the co-owners of the Kings. I just think it's so dope, man. You know me, I support everybody. I want all my peoples to win. But I just think, that big, I'm a b-ball guy. So, something like that is like, it seems like it's super dope, man. So I just wish them the best. And I want to make sure that everybody in the audience knows what they're doing. And if you want to support and if you want to get gear or whatever, because it's the brothers who own it, they're all brothers. It's black owned and it's local. I mean, what else do we need? You know what I'm saying? It's local and it's black owned. I mean, that's what I do. That's what we do here. So check them out. And again, that sports network is called TKDS. As he said, you can go and download the app, or it's on Fire TV or Roku. And if you want to support the teams by watching, again, TKDS, and you can download it and check it out. Wishing the best, man. Go Kings. And then just the whole name of it. He's talked about the Kings. That's, promoting black people, black men as kings. I mean, come on. How could you not get behind something like that? Stop hating. Stop hating. So let me give you a heads up. So we talked to Dr. Vanessa Enoch this morning, and great conversation. Sad story, really. I'm sad she had to go through that, but empowering in the same time, because she ain't stopped. She said, I couldn't get a lawyer to take my case. I wrote my own lawsuit. I love that. I'm going back down to the courthouse. You're not going to stop me or scare me away from doing what I'm going to do. I love that. Talked to brother Kevin Aldridge with the Ohio Kings there. Black entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs. I'm all about it. And then another black entrepreneur. We'll be talking with the owner of Bodied By Rico, Rico Epps. I do not know the brother, but I saw on Facebook, we're Facebook connected, that he had won a competition. And look at that. That's a brother right there. Here's another picture of him. Look at that. Damn, how you get like that? And I thought, it could be an interesting story. I want to feature more local black entrepreneurs on the show. I'll be reaching out, and I want to be a regular feature for two reasons. Number one, I think we can learn from the journey of these entrepreneurs. And then two, I want to support them. Those are my two reasons. I want to learn from them, and I want to support them. So that's why I'm going to do it. So you can expect more of that here on the Nathan Ivey Show. And at the same time, it's spring, summer's around the corner. Everybody trying to get their body right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, how you get like that? The hell? How you even get into something like that? I mean, you talking about dedication. That's dedication right there. But he's scheduled to give us a Zoom style call in about 11 minutes. So stick around for that. And if you got questions, I mean, who better to ask a question about your body and nutrition and things like that than a man that is doing it? You're actually doing it. So I'm looking forward to that in just a little bit. Good morning to you. Tabitha writes, Nate, thank you so much for your show today. I learned so much. Me too. I'm a forever student. I am not an expert. I'm an expert on being Nathan. That's it. That's it. But I'm just naturally curious about the world around us, and I want to learn from these people that had these great experiences. Like I said, my interest I'm going to create a whole new segment for it, perhaps. I've got a couple ideas, but I want to focus and I want to support, I want to spotlight local black and brown entrepreneurs for two reasons. I'll reiterate it. Number one, I want to learn from them. And number two, I want to support them. That's it. I'm not looking for anything else. That's it. But let me circle back around. A slap in the face and pure disrespect. That's right, Kenneth. Good morning to you. Vernon writes, attorneys getting paid. The attorneys seem to always get paid. I mean, that's the way it goes. Mr. Corbin is Chop Shop's Avery Corbin. That's right. Mr. Avery. He for the longest, I used to say he had the coolest avatar. He had a super dope avatar. The disorder conduct was to prevent a retaliation for violating the First Amendment. If the conduct is not legal, you can't claim retaliation. The humble charge. Thank you, Fame. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. But what do you think about the conversations you heard so far? Serious. Have you ever gone to an Ohio Kings game? I mean, no shame in you. I mean, you do you. Maybe it's something you'll look into in the near future. Maybe so. Hopefully so. Victoria writes, Sister V writes, they let the white woman go at WTF. That's right, as she told the story. They were trying to punish her. They're trying to punish her. For what reason? I don't know. I mean, if I'm a sheriff deputies, I ain't got time for all of that. I'm done. I'm doing my job. I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to treat everybody the same. And I'm up out of here so I can go home. I ain't got time to be doing no extra stuff because I think you're a Traci Hunter supporter or I think you're anybody supporter. That's not the job. But that's just me. What bothers me the most is she said that these deputies are still on the force. They still out there working for Hamilton County Sheriff Department. That's the real issue. Now, can anything be done to them? I don't know. I mean, apparently not. I don't know. Barbara writes, good morning, and we appreciate the lineup. Great platform for the culture. Everything for the culture. You know that. Lemmy writes, good morning. I was for the culture before people start saying for the culture. You know, you talking about a career that goes 20 years. I'm not new to this. It's the same G. I'm doing what I always do. And you see a hot sauce bottle back there. I am a black man. That's right. That's right. Oh, my God. Sharps in the Chop Shop, he writes, good morning, Nate and the Chopper. Should we be celebrating St. Patrick's Day? Oh, that's right. Today is St. Patrick's Day. It's not really on my radar screen for those that support it. It's never really been something that touched me. For the drinkers out there, hey, you got a big day. I mean, for the Uber drivers and all those kind of folks, it's a big day for you. You're going to cash in today. People going to be doing the bar crawls and bar hopping and all that kind of stuff. Make your money. Get big tips. Tip your Uber and Lyft driver. Take care of them today. I don't drink anymore, so okay. I mean, for those that support it, great. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day. There it is. Jenny writes, hopefully the Ohio Kings will have a playoff game in Cincinnati. You know what? I'm remiss in my duties because that's a question I could have asked Kevin. Like, will we ever have a playoff game, an ABA playoff game? Like, what would it take to have an ABA playoff game in Cincinnati? That's an excellent question. I missed that. Sorry. That's a damn good question. I could have answered that or asked that to Kevin. Let me circle back around and talk about, our cover topic. Kanye West is low-hanging fruit. Stay out of it. D.L. Hughley, Trevor Noah making some comments about this man and his intimate relationship. I've been watching it just like you. I'm not saying that Kanye West is a saint at all. But what I am saying is that nobody really knows the particulars of their relationship. And it's like most people, if you ask them about Kanye West, they'll say he's a genius when it comes to the music tip and maybe even marketing. Maybe as an artist, we'll put it that way. He's a genius as an artist. But maybe he's got some mental health challenges. There's some things he's dealing with, like we all do. But maybe his are more public and pronounced. And if that's so, I'm like, hey, stay out the man's nightmare. And I read these tweets from D.L. Hughley. I'm like, come on, D.L. Hughley. You too big for that. You're a big-time guy. Don't stoop low to this. Some of the jokes. I'm like, come on, man. That's what we doing now? I saw a video of Kanye praying to God because he was trying to control himself because he's dealing with the fact that his estranged wife has a new boyfriend that's antagonizing him. Talking about I'm in bed with your wife and I'm doing this and that and the other. Well, clearly, if you were in bed with her, that's not the wife. That's not the woman for you, clearly. But he's in his feelings about it. And it's like, it may not be perfect, but let that man go through what he's going through. You know what I'm saying? Trevor Noah talking about, it's hard to see women going through something like this. You know, when a woman tries to leave a man and he just won't stop texting her or stop chasing after her or stop harassing her, that might be your opinion. Leave it to yourself. Quote, but what she's going through is terrifying to watch, and it shines a spotlight on what so many women go through when they choose to leave. But you know, it's a lot of men that go through that. There's men that go through. You try to leave a woman, she can't take no for an answer. But we're less tolerant of that than we are when it's the opposite of that. There are women who can't take no for an answer. They get real toxic. Try to set your car on fire. I seen a video a few years ago. A black woman tried to set her estranged boyfriend's car on fire, and she pulled a Gilligan move and set herself on fire and all this kind of goofy stuff. I'm going to bust the window out your car. It's just so funny that retaliation and toxic shit that women do to men is acceptable. And you know where I'm going, Traci. You know where I'm going, Traci. You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. That's right. Waiting to exhale. That's exactly where I'm going. Waiting to exhale. You got these women out here that was applauding when Angela Bassett went pyromaniac and burned up the brother's stuff. It was funny. It was funny. But if a man did the same thing to your girlfriend, oh, we got to call the police. He crazy. He crazy. What's wrong with him? Why won't he just take no for an answer? Just move on. Just move on. Oh. You get where I'm going? Don't tell me I'm wrong, Traci. Don't tell me I'm wrong, ladies. You cannot tell me that I'm wrong about that. You know that I'm right. You know that I'm right. When women do toxic ish to men, like for instance, I recently, and Traci is going to love this. I recently saw a video. Well, it was really from the Breakfast Club, but they was doing a news report. But remember Kendu Isaacs, the ex-husband of Mary J. Blige? He said that it's been hard for him to get work. It's been a little bit of a struggle because of the songs that Mary J. has been putting out there about him. So she's been using her platform to retaliate against his brother, and they've been broke up for years. It's over. But ain't nobody saying to Mary J., sis, it's over. Go drink some water. Go exercise. It's over. No. What are women doing? Oh, they jumping straight into the nightmare. Oh, yeah, he deserved it. He deserved it. He deserves it. But with Kanye West, he's harassing. He needs to stop. You can say the same thing about Mary J. The relationship is over. Whatever happened, happened. Move the F on. But she gonna keep doing the interviews and keep doing the songs, and she got her new album is about him. They've been divorced for years. Is that a form of harassment? But when it's a man on the opposite side of it, he deserved it. He deserves it. When it's a woman, Rachel writes, Nate being a fire starter. I'm a fire starter every day and proud of it. Now, before we go too far in the show, I want to make sure we get a word in from our sponsor. Very important. Good morning to you. Today's show is brought to you by my friends over at Renew Community Church. They do a Sunday morning masterclass that you can tap into on Facebook at facebook.com/Cincy Renew. That's CINCI Renew. And on YouTube, you can tap in and subscribe at Renew Community Church live stream. If you're interested in a free ebook and or coaching, just go to renewcommunitychurch.org and you can download and sign up. 3 quick steps for emotional happiness. It's a series. You deserve to feel good now. That'll be the topic this Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can tap in. It's a Sunday morning masterclass presented by my friends at Renew Community Church and hosted by Charlie Wimber. Check them out. Traci, Rachel, ladies, you can't tell me I'm wrong in that comparison. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Everybody say, oh, Kanye is harassing. He just won't let her go. He keeps talking about it. She's moved on. Well, Mary J. Kendu has moved on. She keep making videos, keep doing interviews, trashing this dude. It's over. He did what he did. Y'all did what y'all did. He's moved on. She ain't moved on. And women just keep applauding. That's right. That no good nigga. That no good nigga. You know I'm right, Traci. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. You can't deny this. You know that I'm right. Cleopatra Jones making excuses. The songs are about their relationship that's been over for years. Kendu Isaacs came out in a recent interview. Yes, it was a recent interview. And he said basically those songs and all the stuff she keep talking about him is harming his business interests right now. Nobody cares about that. But that's how we do with the man. It's gender bias. I think I'm on to something here. But I want you to hold on to that. I want you to hold on to that because my guest, we got brother Rico Epps, Bodied by Rico backstage. Hey, Rico, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up? Okay, I'm going to bring him on right now. Good morning, Rico. Welcome to the show, brother.
Good morning. What's going on, good brother?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Man, I thank you for yours, man. You didn't have to do this. You got a great show, man. I always I check in on you sometimes or whatever as far as the
Okay, I
topics
appreciate
that you got going on, man. And you always get a great show. So I'm blessed and humbled to be a part of this, bro.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, we're Facebook friendly, and I saw that some good things were happening for you. And I thought, you know what, I want to focus and spotlight local Black and brown entrepreneurs for two reasons. Number one, I want to learn from you, and number two, I want to support you. And I thought, okay, you know, let's have this conversation with brother Rico. And then the other thing, man, is spring is in the air, summer's around the corner. Everybody trying to get their body right, and I thought, who better than somebody that's already did it, right? So maybe you can give us some tips today on what we can do to get our body right.
No doubt. I appreciate it.
Tell us about yourself, man. I mean, who are you? And tell us about Bodied by Rico. Are you from Cincinnati? Tell us what you're doing.
So not originally from Cincinnati, originally from Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised, came to Cincinnati in 2010. My wife Myra and we got our two kids here. Two kids, Maddie and Isabella. And we got other two kids, but they're back home in Detroit, Derek and Adrian. And basically just came to Cincinnati, man, in 2010 and working and got involved with this fitness thing, man, and just really wanted to just take it off from me. I've been doing it for now, it's going on 2 years, where just basically got my own fitness brand, Bodied by Rico. And I train over at Finish Strong, where it's over at 4865 Duck Creek Road, right down the street from Schroeder High School. And just been going hard, man. And I decided to help brand myself even further, where I started getting into this bodybuilding thing and just basically took over from there. So I never thought I would be on stage, never thought I would do the point. I thought I would just get into the fitness training because I played football in college. I love lifting weights, that whole thing. But then next thing you know, I had a couple buddies I was working out with. And then next thing they were doing the bodybuilding and classic physique and all the different types of divisions. And then I just got roped into it last year. So now I just did my third show and just won that show. So just really excited. Won my previous two shows. So happy about that as well too. So I'm just going to keep on going, man. And hopefully I'll become a pro.
Yeah, I got some images here, man. I gotta make sure we rep you correctly, man. And here's your brand right here, right? Bodied by Rico.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to make sure we do you right this morning because I appreciate your time, man. I mean, tremendous physique, brother. I mean, as somebody that is trying to maintain my own fitness, I mean, I can just only imagine the type of discipline and dedication that it takes to transform your body and to maintain that. That ain't no easy thing to do, bro. It's like, so just tell us, like, what does it take to create and to maintain a physique like that?
So first off, let me tell you, you don't stay like that forever. It just possibly can't. You can't possibly be doing that. That right there is that facade that you walk around like that every single day. That's not what it is. Let's talk about the journey first.
Okay.
First off, I started December 2021, December 10th. I remember the date correctly. And I was 205. I was 205 pounds. And I said I wanted to do a show. A guy with a coach that helped me as far as with guidance wise, with nutrition and doing all the different things of that nature. And then I started to get more involved as far as educate myself, and then got involved with my own nutrition, where I said I want to become a weight loss specialist. So now I got that underneath my belt, weight loss specialist, and at the same time working with my coach. So started at 205 pounds, and then from there, basically start being involved in a calorie deficit. So just continuously cutting carbs. I was eating them right, but having these, knowing my macros, knowing my calories, not going over that, and training hard. So as much food as I was losing, I was still putting the output into the training, where it had to be the same type of, it had to be even stronger. If I was getting stronger, it had to be the weight training, the time of weight training, but less food. So as you go through this and you go into that stage, and you got to weigh your food. I was weighing my food, and basically I was doing the same thing. I was eating sweet potatoes, jasmine rice, chicken, fish, and ground turkey. Everything that I was eating was lean. So I had to get away from the whole be out there in the community wise, where drinking and soft drinks and juices. Everything was strictly water. Everything was fat free. All my condiments was fat free. All types of things I had to do. I had to change my mindset and just go into a fat free mode, where prep was important. Every Sunday, I would write out my meals to the calories of what those calories look like, and then I would meal prep. My wife and I would help me, and just eat the same thing over and over. So it was a lot of rice, a lot of chicken, a lot of sweet potatoes, and those type of things. The crazy part about it is, every time people ask me, "Well, what type of vegetables are you eat?" I ate no vegetables. I was a, I ate no vegetables. I ate no fruit. That was not part of my diet. That was not part of my prep at the time. So it was mainly just those types of foods that I was eating, and just stay with the workout regimen that I had to be able to have that physique that I have.
Now, have you ever been out of shape? Because you said you played ball back in the day. Have you always can maintain a certain level of fitness, and then most recently you just kind of took it to another level? Because some people, they've completely been out of any kind of good fitness, and they're trying to get to just to create a standard. But what's your journey?
Yeah, so I always kind of stayed in some type of physical shape. It wasn't anything to where like I could go out and run a marathon or run a race of that nature. It was just more so, I was always lifting. I didn't do a lot of cardio. Okay. This time around, I did a tremendous amount of cardio. I did about between 45 to 50 minutes of cardio 6 to 7 times a day. And sometimes of that twice a day. Because again, calorie in, calorie ins that I had to do, the energy I put in was a lot less, but the energy I had to put out was continuously greater. All right, it's all about the energy you putting out. You got to put out more energy than you put more energy in, because what the energy is food. So basically, you sitting down right now, we're sitting down, we got about 3,500 calories that we're burning right now, just sitting down here. But then you go and you eat different types of things, you eat different types of foods or whatever. Now you put on top of that, and then you go to the gym and you work out, but you don't put out the energy that you want to put out with it. You're not really panting, you're not cardio, you're not doing that. You didn't do anything. There's no body change, there's no body change with that. So you have to make sure that you put more energy out than the food that you put in to get the physique that you want to get, and looking like that come up on that stage. So tremendous amount of late nights and early mornings, but I tell you, it was all worth it for what I was able to experience and go through, and I'll be doing it again in December. I have another show December 2nd and 3rd, and I'll be preparing for that. It's coming around August, September timeframe, and that show's in Orlando. So looking forward to it.
So educators, what are judges looking for? Are they looking for lean and like bulk, and are they looking for clear definition on a lean body? Because let me put this image up here you again. Like what are they looking for? You know, when you look at yourself right there, are you like, yeah, I'm there? Or do you look at that and think, damn, my quads could be bigger or my pecs could be bigger? I mean, everybody has a lens. They view themselves a lot more harshly. What do you see when you look at yourself?
So right there, bro. So when you look at it, there's two types of divisions that was in first. That's the bodybuilding, and it's basic because you can see the trunks. That's the bodybuilding, and then I have another one of classic with the black trunks on. That's the classic right there. That's the classic. So I was trying to compete in two different divisions for this particular show. Um, they look at different things when it comes to the different divisions. In bodybuilding, they're looking for big, they're looking for girth, they're looking for big muscles, they're looking for vascularity, they're looking for muscularity. Coming in with that, they're looking for condition, and that condition comes by the look of you being up on stage while holding your poses, being in certain posing routines, doing the mandatory turns and that. That's what they're looking for when it looks at bodybuilding. When it comes to classic, and that's the route that I'm gonna go now for my for the December show and trying to become pro. That's the look of the classic look. Still the same, but more so of a tighter look. So a tighter, leaner type of look where you have striations. I mean, they're coming out. They're really out there where you have that look that's showing the same type of thing that in bodybuilding, but just a lot tighter. All right. And from the standpoint, they are smaller when it comes to bodybuilding as well, too. So that's what they're looking for different things when you are in different divisions when it comes to competition on stage.
Okay. Understood.
Yep.
Let me mix in some questions from the audience. Somebody wants to know, Barbara wants to know, she writes, Rico, give us some startup tips for overall wellness, weight loss, or a natural or a standard healthy regimen.
Oh, good question. So first of all, everyone starts in this stage of contemplation, right? The contemplation of saying, yeah, I want to lose weight and I want to lose it by this time, but I don't know about how going about getting there. Or I'm in this state of mind where I want to possibly get a trainer, but I don't want to put the time as far as the money and effort to go to get a trainer. Or there's a lot of just different things that's going on, right? But overall wellness, when I look at it, overall wellness is first off, is just creating healthier habits. Okay, starting off. And I hate when people say to me, I got to get in shape before I come see you, or I got it. I'm like, what's that mean? That don't mean I got to get myself right before I come to see you. That's total false. I don't understand why people think that way. You ask yourself these questions because you want to make a change, right? So what want to make that change, you first start off by going ahead, going to talk to your doctor, going to see a trainer, getting a consultation, doing those types of things where then they can help you as a team put yourself in their mindset of saying, okay, now here are some things that I can do that I feel myself in getting to my overall wellness. Number one, you want to look at healthier behaviors. Just like I talked about before. Sometimes the fat-free condiment things are just as good as the regular things that you'll get. I'll promote a guy right now, G Hughes. I love G Hughes product when it comes to the taste of the real stuff, but it's in a fat-free form. Ketchup, teriyaki sauce, Chick-fil-A, so all those different types of things is in G Hughes, and it's a good opportunity for you to still get kind of that real taste feeling, but in a different fat-free condiment size. And then when it comes to weight loss, people always say, well, I eat right. I eat this and this and that and third. But guess what? If you are not weighing your food, okay, if you don't know your macros, you don't know how much protein intake you need, you don't know how much carb intake, you don't know how much fat that you need to take in, you don't know how much water that you need to drink. If you don't know those things, okay, and you're not getting those different types of, and you're not getting that rest that goes along with it, and you're not working out hard and doing those things, weight loss will not come. Your body shape will not come to the way you want it to go. Because guess what? You are just recycling. If you're not weighing food, if you're not understanding that I need to have this amount of protein per meal, this many carbs per meal, I need a workout regimen. I need an integrated workout where it's weights and cardio every single day, or 5 days a week, 6 days a week. If you don't do those types of things, then you won't get to the level of weight loss that you want to get to. And that healthy regimen that it goes with overall wellness that I talked about earlier, those things just kind of match together. So it's talking to somebody like myself, getting in touch, and just having a conversation. Everybody, they may not be at the same point in time where they want to be in their life. Everybody's different, right? But start somewhere so that you can go ahead and you can make sure that you're moving in the right direction, Mark. Hope that helps.
Yeah, I think that was a good response. Sean wants to know, can you explain macros? What do you mean by macros?
Yeah, macros. So what I was talking about, macros is protein intake. Okay, so that's your chicken, your fish, your turkey, your anything as far as from your lean meats. That's your protein. Carbs. We're talking about carbs, carbohydrates. So knowing how many carbs that you need. So carbs would be I like, for my favorite carb is jasmine rice or a sweet potato. Those types of carbs. And then fats, healthy fats, almonds. Maybe you can throw avocados in there. Fruits is carbs. Fruits are carbs. Veggies are carbs. So knowing that intake, as far as getting with somebody that can put a meal plan together for you, will help you get into that weight loss. That's what I mean by carb. That's what I mean by the macros.
Somebody wants to know, what do you think about intermittent fasting? That's like a big thing right now, fasting.
So
is that something you did?
So my thing with intermittent fasting is it doesn't work for everybody. Okay. It didn't work for me. Intermittent fasting, I think it has to go ahead and be something that it works for a particular type of person that can be able to do it. But it's not for everybody. Like, I tell everybody all the time, it's like, if you can do it, then that's something that's supportive of you. And I'm going to support you, right? And I'm going to support you in intermittent fasting. But it's just not for everybody doing it. So not one cookie cutter plan is going to be somebody else's plan. So I'm a component of it if you can do it. But at the same time, if it's not going to be working for you because it's not working, then stop doing it.
Got it. And so is it fair to say you own a fitness brand? Is that correct?
I own a fitness brand. Yep. And being a personal trainer. Yep.
And so what's that like, starting a fitness brand? Tell me if I'm wrong, Rico. And it could just be that social media is allowing us to see more. But it just seems like, I'm gonna speak from the black perspective. It seems like I see a lot of black people that's into fitness nowadays. They're into like the healthy body kind of thing. Am I wrong about that?
Well, you're not. I think there's two of the things. My buddy and I was just talking about this. We were talking about the sport of competition, and then we were talking about Instagram and Facebook. And we were talking about how there's so many fitness things out there on Instagram and Facebook of how people do the workouts and something like those.
Right.
And some of those things, I got to be honest with you, it's good for publicity, but I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to be jumping up on bars and jumping down. I'm 42 years of age. Okay. I'm not doing that. That stuff looks cool for Instagram. But when it comes down to just whole hardcore getting to it and working out and wanting to change my body shape and getting ready for competition, I'm old school. We're going to get some cardio in, we're going to get some weights in, and we're going to integrate that together. We're going to get your meals together, and we're going to go from there. I ain't about to go about the life as far as just for some likes and some people seeing my body looking good and this, that, and third. I'm not opposed to that. Hey, y'all do y'all thing. If that works for you and you got a tremendous many followers, so be it. But for me, I'm old school to where I'm going to show results. I'm going to show my people, my clients results. I'm going to show the type of workouts that I do with my clients. I'm going to show my workouts, and we're going to go from there. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think a lot of times now people are really into really showing their fitness and what they're actually doing. I like it because it's free advertising for me. When it comes down to just me and my brand and you be able to follow me on Facebook and like me and all those type of things. I get stuff in my DM every day about questions, and I just like it because it helps my brand where I don't have to necessarily pay somebody else to go out there and advertise for me. I could do my own advertising for myself.
It just seems like, especially with that kind of business, that Instagram, any of the social media things that allow you to do like visual, like content is like perfect for that. It's almost like it's indispensable, because I see two things. Number one, I see a rise in what seems to be people into that fitness thing. And then I see a lot of fitness type brands like athletic wear, things like that you can wear. It seems like a lot of these folks that do what you do, they end up starting their own like athletics wear brand. So it's not only am I selling you the fitness routines, but I'm selling you what you can wear while you're doing the fitness routines. You ever thought about doing something like that?
So I do. So this is actually my brand here,
Okay.
Body. Yep, this is my hat. I do have athletic wear that I have. I have leggings for women. I have joggers for men. Um, you know, starting to get into varsity coats and jogging suits, and there's apparel that I do have. So it's Get Bodied apparel that I have that I've started. I've roughly started about 8 months ago. It's going relatively well. But the cool thing about it though is that when people see, the logo that you put up, when people see that logo, they know it's me, and I think that's so cool. So so to speak, other than having a different word, when people are wearing the apparel, they know, oh yeah, that's Rico. That's Rico's brand. That's Rico. You train with Rico. When some people say, well, I don't. I just like his stuff that he has on. So I like to be able to, if you don't train with me, you can wear it. If you do, you can wear it as well. So that's how I am. I think, yes, you're exactly right when you say, fitness starts branding off into other things. People ask me about meal prepping, and I say, look, I don't I do my own meal prepping, but I wouldn't necessarily cook for you and do your meal prep. And I think you can cook for yourself, but I definitely can help you in your meal prep. But people are like, no, I need you to help. I need you to prep. I need you to do my meals. Just a lot more time off the hands as far as that. But doing those things definitely branches off into other things.
Well, I appreciate your time, man. I mean, where can
Yeah.
people find you online? What is your website, and how can people find you on social media?
So very easy that you can do. Number one, my website is www.bodiedbyrico.com. So it's BOD, just like it's spelled up here, BODIED, Bodied by Rico, BYRICO.com. So you can find me on my website there. My IG page is Bodied, same way, _by_Rico. That's my IG page. You can find me on Facebook at Rico Epps. That's another one. And then I also have a bodybuilding page, Rodrigo. That's my full name, RODRICOEPPS. That's my IG. So multiple ways that you can find me. You can email me at bodybyrico@gmail.com. You can email me that as well too. Multiple ways that you get in touch with me. I'll be happy to talk to anybody and for training or just for questions. But definitely would love to definitely love helping my people out. I
Hey,
love
Rico.
fitness.
Hey, thank you for your time this morning, brother. I wish you nothing but success in the future, and let's stay connected, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey man, much success to you as well too. I really appreciate this time, man, platform as well too.
Oh, for sure, man. Thank you so much. Have a great day, Rico.
Hey, you too.
Most def. That's Bodied by Rico right there. And like I said, I want to support us. I'm gonna do more of that. I'll say it again for like the fourth time. I'm doing it for two reasons. I want to learn, and number two, I want to support. That's it. I want to learn and support. Before we roll out of here, another word from our sponsor this morning. Don't forget, you can tap into a Sunday morning masterclass hosted by Charlie Winburn, our friends over at Renew Community Church. This week's topic: 3 quick steps to emotional happiness. You deserve to feel good now. It's a series. You can tap in on Facebook at facebook.com/Cincy Renew, spelled CINCI Renew. You can also subscribe on YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream. If you're interested in a free ebook and or coaching, you can download and sign up at renewcommunitychurch.org. Of course, it's hosted by Charlie Winburn. Check it out. And again, the great thing about these live streams is you can tap in when you get ready to. Tap in, enjoy. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, you can tap out just on your phone or whatever your device is and check them out. Oh, okay. Somebody sent me a message. Is that right? Listen, I really appreciate you for being here. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever. I'm chasing interviews, y'all. I got an interview set up for tomorrow, but it might be at a different time. I'm not sure if it's going to be during the regular show time. I might do a special broadcast tomorrow at about 1 p.m. because I'm chasing an interview from a sister on the West Coast. And her name is Cerise Castle. You ever heard of her? Her name is Cerise Castle. I was watching The Breakfast Club, and they did this on, I think it was International Women's Day, if you want to go back and check it out. And this sister is an investigative journalist based out of Los Angeles. She did a whole series detailing and exposing the gangs inside the LA Sheriff's Department. I thought it was super interesting. And it made me think, wait a minute, what about our Sheriff's Department? What about law enforcement across the country? So she's scheduled to have an interview with me tomorrow, and we might do it at a special time. It may be during the regular scheduled show. It might be a little bit later, so just check your notifications. I'll let you know when I actually confirm it so you can check it out. I'm really interested, and when I mentioned it to her and said I was in Cincinnati, she said, you know, there might be something she heard about here, the sheriffs here in Hamilton County. I don't know if you saw that episode. It was one of the best interviews they've done in a long time. And it was very interesting. So stick around for that. And just you can expect more of that from the Nathan Ivey Show as we move forward, all right? Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I really appreciate you being here. Please like and in particular share this show. And I'll leave you with our motto. It's real simple. Say it together. Winners focus on winning. And losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nate Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah.